Mind if we take a look? They finally asked her. Sure, Enea replied matter-of-factly. She was still pale and tense from the recent combat. I can't see its stats for some reason, only question marks. How strange, Rodrigo agreed. Look at the stone. It's gone completely dull. May I? Iskandar took the staff from him, but equally failed to bring it back to life. The weak spark which had initially glowed within the precious stone had already expired. Iskandar shrugged. How are you supposed to activate it? You sure our levels are high enough to use it? Togian shifted from one foot to the other, impatient. Alexetis, what are we waiting for? I'm trying to work out how to remove the curse. Don't overcomplicate things, man. The quest says we've got to purge the castle, and that's what we're gonna do. We'll mop the place up room by room. How difficult is that? We'll be done by the morning. Enea walked over to me. The minuscule Alpha, her new black mantis pet, crawled out of her tresses and jumped over to her shoulder, then scurried down her arm until it reached her fingers. From there, he climbed onto the staff and scampered all the way to the top where he froze, studying the dead stone. Funny critter. He sat there for some time, meditating, then scampered back down the staff. Alpha, you're hurting me, Enea cried out. The little mantis had apparently pricked her fingertip. Why would he do that? Why would a pet deal damage to its owner? Blood from the wound trickled onto the staff, which turned transparent, revealing what looked like a web of mummified blood vessels within. The bright drops of Enea's blood filtered inside and were immediately absorbed, filling and feeding the staff's shriveled capillaries. A light flashed within the stone. Slowly at first, it began to pulsate faster and faster as if Enea's blood had breathed life back into it. The heart of a hydra. Item type, a magic staff. Class, relic. Minus 50% to the mental energy expenditure required to cast a spell. Plus 10% to physical defense. Plus 10% to mental defense. Plus 10% to close combat damage. Effect, aura of a predator. Slows down or repels all non-elemental enemies. Restriction, only a rightful defender of Rion Castle. You're one lucky girl, Rodrigo said in amazement, studying the item's stats. But why elemental? Isn't the Founder's magic based on chaos? You're the expert, Iskandar grinned sarcastically. Enea, don't listen. He's just jealous. There's nothing we know for certain about the Founders or their magic, only rumors. No one has ever managed to study any of the ruins they left behind. In this respect, you and Alexetis have been really lucky. She's right, Rodrigo nodded. Can you even imagine all the secrets these walls might harbor? Or the power of a clan smart enough to uncover them? Even I did hear about the ancient blood magic, of course, but I had no idea some of its artifacts had actually survived. Right, Xander interrupted their discussion. Alexetis, what did you decide? Should I call in some reinforcements, or do you think we can manage? Mechanically, I glanced at my interface clock. 23:59:52. He had a point. It was midnight, and we hadn't even started. Okay, I said. We can use a few more men. Darkness fell when least expected. One moment, the moon illuminated the donjon. The heavy sounds of the Hydra's footsteps wading through the quagmire traveled far in the crystalline air. Then all the arrow slits and windows spewed out a viscous black fog which enveloped everything around us, wiping out the stars and damping all the sounds. I stretched out my hand but couldn't see my own fingers. What's going on? Platinus's angry voice came from inside. Who turned off the lights? The earth shuddered underfoot. Get away from me! A weak flash of light came from inside the donjon as Platinus, scared out of his mind, hurled one of his vials at some attacking force. I heard an angry growl, but couldn't see any details in the darkness that flooded the air. 0000. This was midnight by the Crystal Sphere's in-game time. Follow my voice, Xander bellowed, failing to get to the teleport. We need to stay close. The darkness shifted, its intangible depths stirring. A heavy wing beat hit me with a sudden gust of wind. Something huge rushed past overhead. I heard a thumping sound and a weak cry, followed by the screeching of claws tearing through armor.